Start to the stream. Apologies. What's up, everybody? I forgot my mic wasn't plugged in. Here's me doing my stream, completely forgetting the mic wasn't plugged in. What is up, everybody? You are very, very welcome along to tonight's stream. I'm your host, Craig, and as always, this is the late night agenda. I'm just checking that I had the right mic turned on. Grant. Apologies about that. I was starting to talk there and then I realised, shit, you haven't got your mic plugged in, dickhead. So, mic plugged in now. How are we? Welcome. What have we got today? Alright, thanks. How's everybody? There's loads for us to get through. I mean, tonight, packed agenda. I thought we'd be sitting here just looking forward to the game tomorrow against Sheffield United, but ladies and gents, there was an awful lot of stuff for us to get through. There's stuff after coming out around the Nike deal, stuff coming out from the High Court, stuff coming around about who's fit, who isn't fit. So much. Max, I'm very good, mate. How have you been? Finally starting to come back to myself. All this tiredness has caught up with me, but I'm starting to feel a bit more human and a bit normal again. Apologies, you're going to hear the sound of a can opening. We all know what that is. No need to even mention it. We know what it is. Casper, how are you, buddy? Welcome. Clodagh, how are you? Hello to everybody that's coming in. Flair as well, Northern Ireland, how are you? The last time I checked as well, in the big Dublin derby tonight, Shamrock Rovers had just gone 2-0 up against Bohemians in the FAI Cup semi-final. I think Bowls are down to 10 men as well, haven't had a player sent off. But look, ladies and gents, what do you want to talk about tonight? You tell me what you want to start with and we'll go from there because there's a lot for us to get through. Callum said Suarez might be returning back to Anfield. Do you know what? I have that in my notes, mate, so why not, Callum? Shall we start there? Nice shirt, said Max. I just ran a marathon today for charity. Well done to you, sir. Well done, Max. Honestly, mate, any selfless deed like that deserves recognition. So well done to you, buddy. My fat ass is obviously never going to run a marathon. Seriously, mate. Wow. Well done. A marathon. Fit man, well done. There's no way, as I said, my fat ass is ever going to be running a marathon. Ireland Rugby tomorrow, said Limo. Yeah, kit deal, said Big Man Steve. Nike. Right, everyone wants to start with Nike. Do you know what? I am a man who does what he's told. Well, I do what I'm told. My wife generally tells me to do something. But look, let's talk about the Nike deal. That's what you all want to start with. No problem whatsoever. Let me just get my notes up. Right, so the biggest point of this, I suppose, came from a tweet from Paul Joyce. Now, you're going to see lots of stuff going around on social media. You'll see lots of rumours and conjecture. And I try and keep to what I believe to be the most reputable sources. And they don't come more reputable, really, than Paul Joyce. So, Paul Joyce posted earlier on that Liverpool's proposed new kit deal with Nike could be worth a guaranteed £30 million per year. Royalties would then be on top of that linked to distribution. So bear with me as I go through this, ladies and gents, because you're going to hear me say £30 million. You're going to go, that is absolutely shite. That's less than what we're getting now. But there is more to come. So Nike will also use global non-football stars like Serena Williams, Drake and LeBron James to help promote Liverpool and get our kits out there to the wider world. And those details come from come from court papers that were going around in the High Court, because we know New Balance are taking Liverpool. Well, I say taking Liverpool to the High Court. That's probably unfair. New Balance had some questions around the wording of the contract they have with Liverpool Football Club, particularly that matching clause, and they went to the High Court to get some answers or some legal advice on that, shall we say. And those papers now have shown that Nike are willing to put down £30 million a year to Liverpool. Other people are suggesting that royalty clause that we spoke about in the contract that Nike could be willing to put in seems to be around 20% of kit sales, or 20% of all Liverpool related stuff that have the Nike badge on it. So not only would Liverpool get £30 million a year from Nike, it seems, if these figures are to be believed, that we'd also receive 20% of shirt sales or manufacturer sales, which is a deal that not many clubs actually have and is probably very, very beneficial to Liverpool Football Club. So if you can imagine, over the past couple of seasons, we've had record-breaking kit deals. Our kit sales, I should say, more than any other time in Liverpool's history. I think New Balance have been involved in two of the biggest shirt sales promotions in Liverpool's history. So if you're looking at it from that point of view, you're taking the £30 million deal from Nike and then 20% of any shirt sales or anything, or any training tops, that will add up to a shit ton of money, ladies and gentlemen, particularly when you're a club like Liverpool, who are so on top of the world at the minute. Literally won the Champions League. Couldn't be a hotter property right now. So you can only imagine how many shirt sales and stuff I've gone through. And I have a little thought on this myself, and this is only my opinion. What I stated first from Paul Joyce did come from the High Court papers. What I'm going to say next is my own opinion. The reason that I think New Balance are gone to look at the matching clause is they probably looked at the £30 million that Nike are willing to put down on the table and said, yeah, of course we can match that. We're paying Liverpool more than that now. And then they talked about the 20% or rumoured 20% that Nike are willing to give Liverpool from every shirt that's sold. Now, New Balance probably saying again, yes, we can match this. But from Liverpool's perspective, and this is just my opinion, this is just me guessing, we spoke about this last night in the stream, and you guys have mentioned it many times, that there has been occasions where we've been unable to buy shirts. So the goalkeeper shirt, as an example, last season I think with a home shirt or one of the away shirts was unavailable at points. And I wonder if Liverpool have thought to themselves, well, okay, we can probably agree that New Balance would be able to match what Nike are willing to offer with regards to 30 million up front, 20% of shirt sales. But I wonder if Liverpool, and this again, can't stress this enough, this is just my thoughts, I wonder if Liverpool have gone, well, New Balance don't seem to be able to keep up with production of Liverpool's kits. And if we're getting 20% of all shirt sales and shirts aren't available to be sold, then we're losing money. And maybe Nike could make them that promise. Maybe Nike have that global manufacturing outlet that could to guarantee a continuous supply of shirts or training gear or whatever it is for Liverpool Football Club. It's just a thought that I had. And I want to know your thoughts on it, ladies and gents, because the only thing we know for certain is what Paul Joyce had posted earlier on, that Nike, the purported kit deal with Nike would be worth a guaranteed £30 million per year, and royalties would then go on top of that linked to distribution. Some other people, as I said, have suggested a 20% fee for Liverpool. So every shirt or every training top or whatever it is that's sold, Liverpool would make 20% of. That could turn into be a very, very, very lucrative deal for Liverpool Football Club. As I said, we're hot property right now. So I want to get your thoughts on it. I want to know if you think there's any legs to what perhaps I suggested around New Balance may be able to match that deal, but Liverpool might have worries about New Balance because maybe they can't keep up with the manufacturing, maybe they can't keep up with demand. Again, just my thoughts. Right, what have we got here? So, who do you think is the best player for Liverpool? Okay, we've done that millions of times, Colin. For me, my favourite player is Firmino, but let's get to the stuff around the shirt deal. Don't care who manufactures the kits, just keep the beautiful pinstripe, just like the glory days, said Tom Jones. I do like the pinstripe on this year's kit, Tom, mate. And New Balance have made some wonderful kits over the past few years. I would never deny that. I've always said I'm a fan of what New Balance have done. Craig, do you think our surprise signing could be Suarez? I will get on to that, Callum. I promise you, mate. I do have notes on Luis Suarez, and I will get on to that a little bit later on. I've just pre-ordered the keeper's kits at Barca 12. See, therein, mate, lies a little bit of the issue, isn't it? Like, here we are, just about to hit into October, and that kit was released, if my memory serves me correct, June, July time, something like that. And guys like yourself and other people around the world who want to get that kit are only waiting still now to pre-order it. A shirt that God knows how many Liverpool could have sold. God knows how many New Balance could have sold. But because demand outstripped supply, people are not able to get the shirts. And as you said, mate, you've had to pre-order it. So not even just go on and order it now, you're pre-ordering it. So maybe Liverpool have looked at this and thought, we don't want the situation arising again. If we go with somebody like Nike, we know that they can meet the demand. And again, that's just my guesswork. This is not like any facts coming from the club, anything like that. I don't want to get this coming across like I'm trying to make out I've got inside knowledge on anything. I don't. It was just a thought that came into my head. I don't get why we're only 30 million tonight while Chelsea and Spurs are higher. It's very easy, mate. You're missing the really important part of this, I think, now, and it could be the way I described it, so apologies. The £30 million is what's guaranteed to Liverpool Football Club. But what we're missing, and the important part of this would be that we're going to get what royalties. This is what Paul Joyce described it as. So I've seen some people say that Liverpool will get 20%. So right now, when Liverpool sell a shirt in the club store, they only get what's called a merchant's cut of that shirt. The same that Sports Direct would get, the same cut that any sport lifestyle would get, whatever your local sports, Dick's Sporting Goods, whatever it might be in America. I believe, just my belief on this now, is that we don't make any other money other than what every other distributor of the shirts get. So the deal that I think maybe Barcelona and Real Madrid have similar deals with Nike and Adidas, where every shirt that would be sold now, Liverpool would get what's rumoured to be 20% of that. So if you imagine how many shirts or Liverpool branded tops will get sold with Nike on it around the world, that 30 million will go up and up and up and up. And I've no idea how much we could get, but it could be a very, very lucrative deal. So don't be blinded by the 30 million. That's why I was trying to explain it as best as I could. Think of it as 30 million and then a nice percentage of every shirt that's sold. And that will add up very quickly to the 70, 75, 80 million, I suppose. That was being rumoured. And the club aren't foolish. The club will have crunched the numbers on this. The club will have looked at that deal and gone, yes, yes, please. And it is very unusual for a manufacturer like that to give this type of deal to a football club. It goes to show you how far Liverpool have come along. Aidan said, don't get the distribution part. Alright, just try to think of it as a percentage of sales. It's probably the easiest way to describe it. Think of it like New Balance kits really like to sell. Loads of people like them but might not buy Nike kits at Bassett 12. I'm not somebody who's a massive fan of Nike kits, mate, but I'll buy them because I love Liverpool Football Club, and if the kits are nice, I'll buy them. Nike, as I've always said, wouldn't be my first choice. Bernadette Farrell said, if Sabrina had the Liver Bird on her sports gear and Drake was sporting our badge, then it's bound to be a good deal. Yeah, like as fans, we've spoken about doors perhaps the likes of Nike could open for us, and if that is somebody like Serena Williams, somebody like Drake, somebody like LeBron James, promote, like LeBron James is probably a poor example because he has a stake in Liverpool Football Club as it is, but getting those Nike branded athletes to be promote Liverpool's gear, it can only be a good thing for the club, for a platform, for a worldwide fan base. And that's on top of what we've kind of touched on before about maybe Nike would be able to pave the way for Nike branded athletes, like let's say hashtag Mbappe 2020 or something along those lines. Maybe Nike could open some doors, make some introductions, ease those through, help with maybe image rights for the player to make the deal a bit more palatable for a superstar like that to come into the club. I'd love to know your thoughts on that as well. Flair said, I don't like Nike kits, but it's a good deal. But is it a good deal? Excuse me. It looks like it's a cracking deal. I'm not going to lie. And as I said, the club will have crunched the numbers. The club will know. Let's see, even working off what New Balance shirt sales were this year. If the club worked out, okay, we get X amount of shirt sales, or X amount from each shirt sale, multiply that by the amount of shirts sold, add that to the 30 million quid, and they'll know what they're getting. And the way things are right now, Liverpool Football Club are only going to grow and grow and grow in stature, demand for the shirts. I think we did a piece a few weeks ago on the channel where we said that it was by far and away the most searched club shirt of any English club on, I think it was Google or one of the platform searches like that. Casper said, all you're saying, Craig, is that New Balance can't compete with Nike. I think they can. I mean, there's no reason financially why New Balance couldn't compete if the deal is £30 million and then 20% of shirt sales, because they're still only forking out £30 million. I think now they give Liverpool £40 or £45 million a year. So maybe New Balance are going, hey look, we can match this. But I just have a feeling, and it is just my feeling, that that Liverpool just don't think they might be able to keep up with demand. And let's say, use the goalkeeper's kit right now as an example. So Bassett said he pre-ordered it there, and loads of people around the world have been trying to get it. If Liverpool had 20% of every one of those shirts sold, think of how much money they'd be missing out on right now with not being able to get the shirts manufactured in time. So maybe that came into Liverpool's thinking, and this is just a maybe because I don't know. I hope it isn't cookie cutter, said Kevin Henderson, and that's a worry that a lot of people have, Kevin, mate, when it comes to Nike shirts. I'm going to switch between Nike and Nike here, so if it's annoying people, I apologise. I know it's probably pronounced Nike, but I say Nike. So I'll probably end up switching between the two as I speak. But yeah, it's an issue that a lot of people have, Kevin, and I don't blame people because we've seen instances where there has been basically copy and paste shirts done of the same teams, just change the colours a little bit, tweak a little bit here or there. So I do understand where people's worry are with that one, but I don't think Nike will. I don't think Nike will make that mistake, and it's something we definitely can't accuse New Balance of. New Balance have been very creative in the way they've gone about making Liverpool kits. Rabadam said, Mbappe. If we go at Nike, does that mean we'd lose the blackout kit? Perhaps, Jack. But I'm sure Nike would come up with their own creative way. So let's look at Paris Saint-Germain as an example. So Nike right now have that Air Jordan stuff with Paris Saint-Germain that they do for the European kit. So maybe Nike, I'm sure Nike will come up with something creative, whether it be runners. Maybe you can go and buy Nike branded LFC trainers or whatever it might be. They're going to want to make as much money as possible from the Liverpool fan base. So anything that they can do to try and get money out of our pockets, they're going to try and do. So it's in their interests as well. Drake do a concert at Anfield as a full kit wanker. Yeah, we do know about the Drake jinx. For those, every time he wears a kit, the team lose. So But there's no doubt the pulling power that Drake does have around the world. Sorry, just checking up on the score of the Dublin derby here while we're live. Right, what have we got? 2-0 still to Rovers in the 95th minute, so it looks like Shamrock Rovers are going through in the Dublin derby. They'd probably make Liverpool a super brand with Drake and Serena, said Mike Daw. Look, Nike are a superpower. Nike and Adidas really the two big superpowers in sports manufacturing around the world. Bernadette Farrell said it's tough, Craig, because we all love New Balance styling. I do. I've said all along, I really do like what New Balance have done with their stuff, but as any other fan, I want what's best for the football club, and if this Nike deal can help push the club forward, put more money in the transfer kitty and attract other players or a high calibre of player to the club, I'm all for that as well. They'd probably make Liverpool a super brand. We've done that one. We're truly back where we belong on our perch, said Russ Holden. Yes, we are, mate. It is. I think Klopp used that phraseology, didn't he? Or was it somebody used the phraseology back on our perch? No, because I don't think it was Klopp. Actually, I think it was Peter Moore. I think he said that recently. Financially, Nike is way better than New Balance, hands down, said Casper. Not going to lie, I want Adidas so much, said Bassett. I want Adidas as well, mate. I love Adidas. Can club insist that our shirts are different to all the others, said Crosby. I don't know, Crosby. I don't know what input clubs have when it comes to making the jerseys and stuff like that. I would imagine Nike would make a big deal of it, though. I mean, it would definitely be in their interest to sell as many as possible. So, as people said earlier, cookie cutter kits or copy and paste kits, it wouldn't really be in Nike's interest to do that. There's two teams that are going to try to stop us winning the league. Everton and Man United are going to lose on purpose, said Joe Harvey. Everton play Manchester City at 5:30 tomorrow in the evening kickoff. They usually get beaten by Manchester City, so I'm not expecting anything but that one. Bernadette Farrell said, can everybody click the like button to help the channel? Please do. If you enjoy our streams and you're enjoying tonight's stream, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button as well. As you can see from the image beside me tonight, we are working with Football Index this season. I'm going to make this short and sweet. If you want to sign up to Football Index, we have a special offer on with them at the minute. If you bet £20 or €20, you will get £20 or €20 free by using the link in the description below or the code AA20 on sign up. It is for UK and Irish residents only, 18 plus, and begambleaware.org is there for anyone with issues with gambling. Right, what else have we got? Why haven't Adidas thrown their hat in the ring? No idea. I guess we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, mate. There was a little bit of a snidiness around Adidas when Warrior took over from them all those years back. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, but for those that don't know, Adidas basically said that we weren't worth the money that we were asking for at the time. And that proved to be probably massively incorrect, because from that time to now, Liverpool have only gone in an upward trajectory, and it was a bit of an unnecessary dig, I think, from Adidas, and a lot of Liverpool fans have held it against them a little bit since then. Maybe we weren't worth it at the time, but we certainly are now, and if they had been making their kits from then till now, I'm sure they would have made a shit ton of money from it. Roberto, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Callum said, nah, Nike can do one. I prefer New Balance. Don't care about the money. I care about the success for Liverpool. Unfortunately, though, Callum, I think the two might be interlinked, mate. The more money that the club can bring in, the more commercial activity and revenue they can generate, maybe the more success for the team and the more budget for Jurgen Klopp to go out and buy players. So, yeah, I prefer New Balance. As I've said, I agree with you, Callum, but I think it is about the Benjamins at this point in time, and if Nike put down the best deal, then the club are probably obviously going to go with Nike. What would be better financially for us, Adidas or Nike? Well, it seems to be Nike. I don't know how serious Adidas were linked to Liverpool, where them negotiations went, or if there was serious negotiations. I've got no clue. Okay, what else we got? That was my phone, just decided to pitch in. Red Hulk said, I know Paul Mason said the Nike third Roma kit is amazing. Nike do make some decent kits, don't get me wrong, and I've always been a fan of the Roma kits myself. I like them, they do look well with Nike. There's been talk of the colours of the kits that are going to be released from Nike as well with Liverpool. So the images doing the rounds are that the red home kit will be something, you can see it in the stream image for tonight, the thumbnail of tonight's stream. So think of the Portugal red. I think that's kind of the red that they're thinking about for the home shirt. The away shirt is going to be a tealy, greeny, aqua kind of bluey green, I think. And then the third kit's supposed to be a really, really, really dark grey charcoal, almost black. Dean said, Everton manager under pressure. Yes, I would say he is, mate. 2 losses in a row. I seen an interview with Jordan Pickford actually earlier on, where I realised quite how dumb he seems to be, by the way. Like, he was struggling to string a sentence together. He was trying to talk about VAR and the rules and how he feels like maybe things haven't been explained enough, even though he then went on to say that they got a briefing about VAR and stuff like that, and that he's constantly talking to referees trying to figure out what's going on, and it just seemed like he was making some excuses for me about him and Everton not having a great season, which long may it continue. Christian said, I really want Everton to get points off City. I think we all probably do, mate, but they probably won't, to be fair, because Everton aren't great, and City won fucking 8-0 against Watford and are in pretty good form. Malcolm Fielding said they really shot themselves in the foot big time. Chelsea or Manchester United in the cup, mate? If this is what we're talking about, by the way, if you're talking about the Carabao Cup draw, I don't know, I fancy Chelsea to nick that one, even though it is at Old Trafford. Joe Harvey said Crazy might be going to Iceland in December. Brilliant. I mean, the more travelling you can do in life, mate, the better. So if you do go, I hope you have a wonderful trip. Liverpool owner John W. Henry said Dele Alli was not worth $5 million from his days at MK Dons. From what I've heard around that deal, the deal was pretty much done, and there was an issue around the wages or the way the wages were going to be paid or something. But look, this is all conjecture. I mean, none of us really know what went on there. But Dele Alli was very close to signing for Liverpool. That much I think we all know. Craig, did you see that Robbo said if we beat City we'll win the league? I didn't see that, Jack, but I can see where Robbo's coming from if he did say it. If we had beaten City just once in the 2 games last season, we would have went on to win the league probably. So yeah, the 2 games against them this year are going to be massive. Getting 1 point from a possible 6 against them last season just wasn't good enough. So yeah, Robbo could well be right. City don't have Laporte and Stones, do they? Not at the moment, no. Both are injured. I'm not sure when they're back. I think Laporte 4 months, was it? 4 to 6 months maybe, or have I got that wrong? Jenny, how are you? Welcome. Everton have won 10 home Premier League matches against reigning champions. Only Liverpool with 13 have won more, said Dean. Everton take some points off City will be a bigger shock than Norwich, said Craig Adams. Yeah, how's everybody feeling about that game? I can't see anything other than a Manchester City win in that one either, to be fair. And if I have it on an accumulator, which I probably do, I think I'd probably have it down as a Manchester City win. By getting Nike, we would make huge transfers player-wise, said Casper. Probably would open the door, mate. Yes, it probably would help those introductions to Nike athletes. What else have we got? Being Liverpool owners doesn't mean they know everything about football. They absolutely don't know everything about football, mate. None of us do, but I suppose what we can say about Fenway Sports Group is that they are well experienced with managing sports brands, sports companies, sports businesses, and coming into football for them, they may have been a bit naive at the start, but they've been learning on the job, I suppose. And they have now got a very good team in place there that are doing things absolutely fantastically. But yeah, I don't think they've ever claimed to know everything about football, to be fair. Everton are always being deluded. What's new, said Joe Tony. Nothing, mate. Pretty much you're right, yeah. Who do I think will win the Golden Boot this year? Hand on heart, probably not the answer people want. I'd say Aguero, if he can stay fit to Scarlet Ant. Aguero, for me, probably is the best goal poacher in the league, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't swap him for Bobby Firmino, because Bobby Firmino does so much else and brings so much to our team, but if I had to put a bet on it, I would probably bet with Sergio Aguero for the Golden Boot. What does that doesn't even a fucking sentence. What does everybody else think about the Golden Boot, by the way? Am I just being deluded here, or do people agree with me that maybe if Aguero stays fit he'll win it, or do people think perhaps Sadio Mane will go on and win it, Mo might go on and win it? City will win, said Arthur. Manchester City will batter Everton, said Adam Parks. Everton should go for Jose, said Red Hulk. He'd been linked actually to a move back to Real Madrid, Jose Mourinho. Obviously Zinedine Zidane under a bit of pressure already. Domestic Butler said, do you play Super 6? No, I don't, mate. I don't play that. I know a lot of people that do actually. I think I might have signed up for it like a couple of years ago and never remembered to do it. It's hard enough trying to remember to change my fantasy Premier League team each week, buddy. Oh, look, let me just scroll that back. Just to prove that was a green screen there, you can see from the edge. Look, I'll show you guys again. I'll go through and show you a little bit of, like, that's what the wall colour of my bedroom looks like. Now I'll just twirl it back around so we can get into the right position. Art New Balance taking Liverpool to the High Court. That's where that news came out of today, John T. They've went to the High Court, I think, to get some answers with regards to certain aspects of the matching clause in the contract that they have with Liverpool, I believe. And this is where this information came out of today that Paul Joyce was talking about. The deal seems to be 30 million from Nike plus I keep forgetting the way he worded it, but it's basically, I think, a percentage of shirt sales as well for Liverpool on top of that. What have we got? I thought it was at Stamford Bridge, said Big Man Steve. I could absolutely be wrong on that, mate. I mean, I can't remember how the draw came out on Wednesday night. I just remember who we're playing and that we're at home against Arsenal. If it is at Stamford Bridge, then I absolutely think Chelsea are going through. I even fancy them to go through if it's at Old Trafford, to be quite honest. Dean said Tammy Abraham for the Golden Boot. I don't think so. I think he will have a decent season, and I'm glad to see that he's been given the chance at Chelsea. Casper said Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang for the Golden Boot. Tammy Abraham, Timo Pukki or Mane for Bassett. Aguero can have the Golden Boot, Liverpool can have the league, said Rockefeller. I agree with you on that one, mate. I don't really care much for individual awards like that because I support Liverpool Football Club first and foremost, and us winning the league or the Champions League or anything is far more important to me than any individual award. Lampard said they matched us in the first half and should have won in the second half. I think both games where we've played Chelsea this season, in the Super Cup and in the recent league game, there has been a half where both teams have been the better team, actually. I think in the Super Cup, Chelsea were the better side in the first half. We brought on Bobby Firmino. That changed it, and obviously we went on to win that. In the game against Chelsea and Stamford Bridge in the league, we were clearly the better team in the first. We were hanging on a little bit in the second half, but at the end of the day, we got the 3 points and we won the Super Cup. So in both meetings against Chelsea this season, we've got the job done, and I think that's all that we can really give a shit about. Lampard is obviously going to try and spin things as positively as possible for his team, and I've said after the game that Chelsea team will improve as the season goes on, and those younger players, the more experience they get, I think it will actually be a blessing in disguise for Chelsea that they had that transfer ban. Aidan Andrews said Aguero never stays fit though. There is that as well, mate. Yeah, I can't deny that he does miss quite a bit of football with injuries, or seems to anyway. Sometimes what we perceive can be wrong, but when he plays and when he gets into that rhythm of scoring goals, he seems to be scoring 1-2 every week. Aguero's is the greatest of all time. The way City attack Aguero looks a best bet for the Golden Boot, said Dodge 76. He's a quality centre forward. There is absolutely no denying that. Brian reckons Aubameyang for the Golden Boot. Sterling has a good chance of winning the Golden Boot if he carries on the way he's been, said David Newell. Mane for Crosby Red. Why not Adidas, said the Vanishing Troll. I don't know, maybe they weren't in, mate. Maybe they couldn't match Nike's offer. Maybe the club didn't want to work with them. I've got no idea. I would have loved it to be Adidas though. I'm Juicy Weena said Moist Keane, more like Robbie Keane makes me moist. Okay, but whatever makes you moist is your own business. Casper Hansen said, is it a done deal with Nike, Craig? I mean, it's not really for me to say because I don't know, but it's certainly looking very, 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 very likely that Liverpool's kit manufacturer for next season will be Nike. When you're seeing leaked images, leaked colours for the kits, Nike talking about the athletes that they're going to get, or the ambassadors that they're going to get to help promote Liverpool stuff, I would say it's more likely than not that it will be Nike. But until it's confirmed by the club, I guess none of us will know for sure. Put it this way, I wouldn't put a penny on it being anybody but Nike if I had to lay money down. Red Hulk said, I don't wish it on him, but Aguero gets an injury a season that keeps him out for a month, but with a scoring record shows how good he is. Liam said, Adidas hasn't got the money that Nike have. I've no idea. I mean, Adidas are fucking huge as well, Limo. But they've got deals with like Manchester United, Real Madrid. They've got a new deal with Arsenal as well. So maybe they just haven't got enough money to match what Liverpool are looking for. Callum reckons that City will beat Everton by 1-0, and that'll be a late winner by... Did you say who was going to be the scorer? A late Sterling winner. Sorry, you did say who would be the scorer. Just checking for the final score on that Dublin Derby game. Bear with me 2 seconds. Yeah, it finished up 2-0 the Shamrock Rovers, so they're through to the final of the Cup, I believe. Why isn't Harvey Elliott on FIFA 20? He's on PES. No idea. Craig Adams, no idea. I'm sure that probably when they do an update on FIFA, they might add him. Is that right? I don't know, mate. I'm not really a FIFA player, although I'm thinking about it. I'm seriously thinking about starting to stream FIFA. What are the odds of Neymar taking his sister's birthday off this season? He seems to like taking his and his sister's birthday off, doesn't he, for a little celebration? Crosby Jones said Adidas have chosen to go with the Manx. Rumours that contract allows for reducing money if Manx don't finish top 4. From what I've read and from what I think Crosby read is that if they don't make the Champions League 2 seasons in a row, then that figure reduces dramatically, maybe 30%, something like that, the money that United get. Dean said, win ugly, we're a machine, not quite clicking. So far performed to the season versus Newcastle. Liverpool experience of winning is a habit. Definitely a habit, yes. What have we got? Sorry, just looking at a few people said they're having buffering issues. Is everything okay at the minute? Somebody just let me know that it's okay. Brian said it's fine. Any watch along for the Everton versus Manchester City game? No, too early in the season for that, mate. If it gets towards the end of the season and it's also Manchester City going head to head, then I probably will do watch alongs of those games when they become, I suppose, really relevant. But no, not tomorrow. I'll be doing a watch along of the Sheffield United game. We'll be starting from 12 p.m, so I hope you can join us for that one. And then after that, what are we doing? We'll have our post-match show, sorry. Red Hulk said to anyone, if anyone is having any buffering issues, just reload the stream, and it's been working fine for all them. The Portland kit makes me a lot of things are making you moist, juicy weenus. The Portland kit, yeah, it is. Sorry, just another one that I've added to my MLS collection. You guys know I'm a nerd when it comes to collecting football shirts and stuff. So I picked up another couple when I was over there. I got the Kansas City one, and I got this one. Finn said, I like Nike boots and runners, but Adidas I'd love to make Liverpool's kit. So would I. And I've said it before, one of the main reasons I've always wanted Adidas to be making Liverpool's kit is because I want those retro shirts with the sexy Adidas badge on them. Like, imagine being able to get that 89-90 candy shirt with the Adidas badge in it, or the 1996 green and white checker board shirt. I don't know what way to describe it. Being able to get all of those with the Adidas on it would have been really, really nice. But we are where we are, and like everybody else, I just want what's best for the club. Right, let's move on to that Luis Suarez story. A couple of people asking me earlier on what that was about. So, Sportsmole have suggested that Luis Suarez is considering leaving Barcelona and have named Liverpool as a destination that he'd like. They also go on to say that the Reds are thought to be open to the idea of re-signing 32-year-old Luis Suarez. I don't know where I sit on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, from a footballing perspective, I've always said Luis Suarez has been one of my favourite players to have worn the shirt for Liverpool. But do we really think that Liverpool may go out there and spend 60, 70, 80 million quid on a 32/33-year-old Luis Suarez? There were rumours during the summer that he could join Juventus. It seemed, I think he got booed by a section of the Barcelona fans recently as well. I don't know what your take on this. I can't see it happening. I really, really just can't see it happening. I wouldn't care about shirts. We're getting more finances, I take it. What's this about Suarez? I've just explained that one. When's his contract up? I've no idea. Actually, that might be something worth somebody doing a quick search on there. I don't know when Luis Suarez's contract is up, but what do you guys think? Would you like to see a 32, 33-year-old Luis Suarez back at Liverpool? Dean says Suarez next to Italy, not for Liverpool. Liam said, don't get me wrong, I'd love Adidas and New Balance, but it looks like Nike put the most money on the table. Casper said rather Timo Werner than Suarez. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on that one, mate. It makes much more sense for the club to go out and spend money and pay those type of wages to a younger player, that you might get 5, 6, 7, 8 years from. Christine Nolan said no, I loved him when he was here, but I wouldn't want him back. Roberto said, just my opinion, Craig, I don't want Suarez anywhere near my club, and he's talking about Juventus there, of course. Yeah, can understand it, mate. He's a bit Marmite, Luis Suarez. When he was at Liverpool, I enjoyed watching him. I can't lie, but I just don't see why it would make sense for the club to go out and spend money and pay the type of wages it would probably take to bring him back. I'd rather see us go out there and get a younger player. Connor checked in his contract's up in June 2021, so he'd have another year then on with Barcelona at the end of this season, so probably still cost anybody that will buy him a hefty sum of money. Suarez is one of my favourites too, but unless it's proper cheap and he doesn't run the harmony of his squad being a bench player, I wouldn't, said Red Hulk. Would Suarez ever accept being a bench player? I can't say. I'd imagine when you get to that part of your career, you want to play as much as possible. But then again, would it allow us to rotate more? I think we need to think about it like that as well. Whoever we may bring in down the line, whether it be Ryan Brewster coming through, whether it be Timo Werner, whether Origi ups his game, whether it's Luis Suarez, whoever it might be, I don't like the term bench player, because we're going to play up to 70 games this season perhaps, and the front three aren't going to be able to play those 70 games. So I think whoever comes in, and let's say that they're fourth choice from the front three, they're still probably going to get 30, 35 games in a season. Domestic Butler said, I've always said Suarez would come back just like Ian Rush did. Colin Douglas said, I would take Luis Suarez back in a heartbeat. He was my favourite Liverpool player when he was here before. Worked so hard for the team and scored goals. Callum said Suarez is Premier League proven. Look, there's no doubt in the man's quality. As I said, when he was here, I worshipped the ground the fucking guy walked on. I absolutely adored Luis Suarez. I've often spoke about the fact that I love the attitude of he doesn't give a shit if he's 10-0 up or 10-0 down. He's still going to go out there and work as hard as he always did. I don't know, maybe if some of the shithousery that went on in our recent games against Barcelona would affect people's views. Obviously, there's the way that the move happened as well. Him biting, was it Chiellini that he bit during the World Cup as well for Uruguay? Suarez re-signing. Okay, you're going to have to just get a tea towel or something, mate. There's too much moistness going on here. Tony said he's a class player, but I would if it was free. Glatzel as well. That's a good show, big man Steve. I keep forgetting about Glatzel because he's out for the season with that knee injury, but I always said at the time between him and Bobby Duncan, I preferred the look of Glatzel. I thought he looked like a more natural forward. So yeah, there is Glatzel to come back as well. Casper said, that's why Nike fits in. We can sign big name players. Red Hulk said, I agree, but Bobby will be playing and Origi and Brewster have been made assurances. I don't know about the assurances part. With Brewster, I think maybe there was definitely talk of us not signing somebody to block his development. I've no idea what may or may not have been said to Divock Origi for him to sign that new deal. Happy that he did. But at the same time, I still think we're short up top. I still do think in the long term we do need to add one more body up there to be supporting for the front three. Live Gamer said Louis not as good as he used to be, but he did miracles for us when he was here. I didn't hear the Nike news. Can you briefly say it? Okay, no problem. Really quickly. Where is it? Paul Joyce posted that Liverpool's proposed new kit deal with Nike will be worth a guaranteed £30 million per year, and on top of that Liverpool would then receive royalties on top of that linked to distribution. Some people have gone as far as to say that Liverpool will get around 20% of every shirt sold on top of the 30 million quid, and that could add up to a very significant amount of money. The papers in the High Court also suggested that Nike are going to use global non-football stars like Serena Williams, Drake and LeBron James to help promote Liverpool around the world. And as I said, those details came from court papers in the High Court, from where New Balance have gone to look for some answers with regards to the matching part of the contract with Liverpool. Sources, as I said, suggest approximately 20% of sales are the royalties that the club would be getting, but you don't know the absolute truth on this until, I suppose, the deal maybe is announced. Imagine a Suarez of a few years ago, Mane and Salah. What got me at the time, Daffod, was when we signed Luis Suarez, he was brought in. The idea was for him and Fernando Torres to play together. And can you imagine what that would have been like? A Torres-Suarez combination? Fuck me, that would have been great. Need to look forward, not back, said Craig Adams. I get you. I'm generally, yes, that's the word. I'm generally not a fan of people returning to clubs like that. One instance that kind of changed me was when Rafa brought Fowler back all those years ago. I thought that was just the shot in the arm that the club needed at the time, and obviously you can point to Ian Rush coming back as well. Liverpool relies on youth, Manchester City don't. That's the difference between us, said Casper. Imagine Bobby, Origi and Brewster. That front three makes Mr. Weenus what Mr. Weenus has been all evening. Or I'm Juicy Weenus, actually. I say Mr. Could be a female for all I know. They can use Mbappe to promote it as well if they want, said Red Hulk. Yep, I'm all for it. Bit of hashtag Mbappe 2020. Will Liverpool be able to get Kai Havertz because he's a great young football player, said Finn Kavanagh. I think there's a lot of clubs around Europe that are going to be looking to sign Kai Havertz. He said he was going to stay one more season with Leverkusen. You'd seen Munich linked with him. I'd seen United linked with him. I think you're going to get most top clubs in Europe looking at Kai Havertz and monitoring this season because he's a very, very, very good football player. I hope it's the type of player that Liverpool are looking at and the type of player that we're linked to. Suarez, just do it. It's a domestic butler with a little bit of a tick. I think a little play to the night tick there. Liverpool don't need Drake, Serena Williams, etc. to promote us around the world. Maybe in the US, but we're big everywhere, I know. It works though, mate. It works. That type of branding and cross promotion works, and the likes of Nike and stuff definitely know what they're at when it comes to that. And the more places I suppose the club can get their brand, their logo. Look, we're known all around the world. There's no doubt in that, mate. I absolutely agree with you. But if Nike can do it, and Nike can push that out there, then why not? How is Cash doing? Asked Casper. Recently, she relocated to London recently, actually, with a girlfriend. I think she's doing quite well. I've only had limited contact with Cash lately due to us both being really busy. She's now the assistant editor, I think, of the Copbite as well. So she's going to be really busy doing some writing. So keep an eye out for her stuff over there. If you haven't given the Copbite a follow yet on Twitter, please do. Dan and the guys at the Copbite do some really good work, and I really appreciate the stuff that they do as a Liverpool fan. Once we don't bring back Andy Carroll, said Stewie. Oh, can you imagine, mate? I mean, Newcastle brought him back, and I thought that was a foolish move. So for us to bring him back, it'd be just madness. Declan, how are you, mate? Declan D Games is in. How are you? Welcome. Ladies and gents, as I said earlier on, if you're enjoying the stream and you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Yibber said, I have a Liverpool kit picture. Can I send it to you to show the viewers? Can't really do it on here, mate. There's no way really of me to then show the viewers, really. Coutinho was announced by Nike. Hopefully they can do the same for Mbappe, said Lals Beeb. Go to get Sancho, this Nike deal. You can see Mbappe thing, but you never know. Actually, talking about Sancho, that reminds me of one more thing. I told you we had a lot to get through tonight, and I wasn't lying. So the 20, and I can't remember, somebody on Twitter alerted Connor to this, and Connor passed it on to me. I can't remember who that person is, but to that person out there who asked us to talk about this, thank you. The 2019 Golden Boy Award nominees have been reduced down to the final 40 players, and there's only 6 Premier League based players in this. So for people that don't know what the Golden Boy Award is, it's for the best under 21 players basically around Europe, and could even be around the world, I'm not sure, but I know at least around Europe, and it's been whittled down to the final 40, and there's only 6 Premier League based players in this. So the 6 Premier League based players that have made the final 40 of the Golden Boy Award this season are Guendouzi of Arsenal, Keane of Everton, Mason Mount of Chelsea, Nelson from Arsenal, some guy called Deli Bashiru from Watford, who I don't think has made a first team appearance for Watford yet, and I've never heard of, to be honest. And Foden of Manchester City. Now, I don't begrudge any of those young players a place in the final 40, but what I want to know, and I want to get people's opinion of, is why the fuck is Trent Alexander-Arnold not on that list? How on earth did a man who got 97 points in the league with Liverpool, won the Champions League, got to the final of the Champions League the season before, broke assist records, has ridiculous amount of clean sheets with Liverpool in the season as well. How the fuck is Trent Alexander-Arnold not on that list? Unless I'm missing something blatantly obvious here, can somebody please tell me how on earth he hasn't made the final 40? Not begrudging any single one of those players a place on it, but if this is supposed to be about the best under 21 players in Europe, then how on earth is Trent not on that list? It is an absolute shambles that he's not on the list. A shambles altogether. Unless there's some criteria that he doesn't meet or something like that, he's not eligible, I don't know. I've tried to search and find, but I haven't been able to find any reason why. The favourite for the award, by the way, is João Felix, formerly of Benfica, now of Atletico Madrid. He's the favourite to go on and win the award. I think second favourite after that perhaps is Jadon Sancho. But what on earth, what the hell? I hope somebody has an answer and it's obvious and we can go, oh, okay, that's why he's not on it. But if he's just been left out, that is beyond ridiculous that Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't make the final 40 of the best under 21 player in Europe. I mean, it's madness. Watchalong 96 said Trent broke the list. Domestic Butler said Trent not in it. No, mate, he isn't, which is fucking crazy. Trent Hate said Joe Tony, it's a joke. Regarding Carroll, his problem was he was too injury prone. He'd get crooked crossing the sideline of a pitch. That and he was falling off bar stools, mate, getting injured as well. Mbappe on it? I don't know, actually, off the top of my head. I just know this. I just took note of the 6 Premier League based players on it. I can check that for you now, though. Let me just check. Right, let me just go through it. Where? Right, let me see. Right, so who's on the list? I've gone through those players. They give a list. Who did you ask? I'm trying to look through it now to see if Mbappe is on the list. No, I'm not seeing Kylian Mbappe on the list. No, Chukwueze's on there. De Ligt is on there. Phil Foden, as we said, Guendouzi, João Felix, Justin Kluivert, Mason Mount, Reece Nelson. No Kylian Mbappe on there. How many times, said Central Red? 6 times, my friend. 6 of the best. What do you think the score will be tomorrow and who will score, said Declan. I went for a 3-0 win for the Reds, mate, and who will score? I think Mo will pick one up. Maybe another one from a set piece or one of our defenders, and I'd like to see a goal from midfield. So Henderson, Fabinho, I don't know, whoever plays in midfield. Trent is playing like he's 27, said me, myself and I. They see him as a man, not a kid, maybe because he's so good, said Joe Tony. It just seems absolutely madness to me that he's not on the list. It's because Trent will be 21 when the awards are out. It's the only thing I can guess, said Domestic Butler. If that's the case, great. I hope that's the case. I hope he just hasn't been omitted for no reason. Both Trent and Mbappe are turning 21 this year, said Kirby Power. Good. I hope that is the reason. I hope it is that reason. If that is the reason, makes complete sense. Finn said, who would you love for the January window, Craig? I don't think we'll do any business in January, Finn, in all honesty, mate, unless, even with an injury or two, I still think the club are looking to next summer, and the club are waiting until next summer to do business, and I mean serious business. I'm expecting a couple of big signings next summer. Possible that he's a shoe-in for their version of the World 11, so they've excluded him, said Philip Claude Wadsworth. I've no idea, mate. I hope it's the reason people have maybe suggested there that he turns 21 when the awards are out. If that is the case, grand. But if he's just been admitted, that's fucking, or omitted, I should say. That's just being ridiculous. Right, what else have we got to go through on tonight's stream? Oh, Jurgen Klopp was speaking in his press conference today, obviously ahead of the game against Sheffield United, and he confirmed that Alisson is really close to a return from injury, but that he won't be ready to play against Sheffield United tomorrow. Other reports have suggested that he's going to start. He was doing goalkeeper training, but that he'll be back integrated with the first team from Sunday. Klopp said Alisson is in a good way. Yesterday, not with us, but with the goalie coaches, he had a full session. He's getting closer and closer. We'll have to see. We'll have a talk to the medical department. Ali looks like he's close, but the final work is with the final word is with the medical department, because we have to ask how he is exactly. He's not in contention for tomorrow, but he just trained now. It looks like he'll be able to train with the team from Sunday. We don't know 100%, but he is really, really close. And that's great news. It's great to see Alisson coming back. Adrian has been more than capable as an understudy, but Alisson Becker is our number one, so it is great to have him on the road to recovery. The gaffer also confirmed that both Sadio Mane and Divock Origi have returned to full training. And he also went on to describe James Milner as Mr. Professional, and he reckons that Jimmy Milner has a few more years left in him at the top level. And he also went on to say that he's not going to talk about any possible contract extension for James Milner, because it's not something he discusses at press conference. So, yeah, a lot to get through there. Alisson nearly back. Sadio Mane and Origi have been in full training, and Klopp reckons that Jimmy Milner still has a couple of years left at the top level. And how could you doubt him? I mean, the level of performance that James Milner's been putting in and the level of fitness that he's shown during his time at Liverpool is quite frankly ridiculous. If Sterling can win the Young Player of the Year, then Trent can win the Golden Boy at 21, said Connor, as in our own Connor. Sheffield will probably give us a game in the first half, but we'll get them on the counter in the second half. Shaqiri is also injured. He had a knock to the back, said John Hamilton. Domestic Butler wants James Maddison in January, and look, a lot of people are making a shout for Maddison. I don't think Leicester will sell in January. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense for them to do that. They're going to be looking to push towards the European places this season, and they've had a decent enough start to the season. So if James Maddison is moving on from Leicester, I would imagine, one, they won't want them to, and they'll put a hefty price tag on him, but it will probably be next summer before that any move for Maddison, wherever he may go, could possibly take place. Craig Adams said, no need to rush Alisson back. Adrian has been brilliant. Yes, but there are big games coming up, mate. You know, there are big games coming up. Obviously, we have the game tomorrow against Sheffield United. Then we've got Salzburg in the Champions League on Wednesday. And then Leicester City the following Saturday as well. Crosby Red reckons 3-0 to the Reds tomorrow with a Trent hat-trick. Love it. And Connor said, nobody born before 1999 was included in the Golden Boy Awards. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more, Connor? Is that the reason Trent wasn't included? Casper said apparently Alisson Becker will be in full team training on Sunday, which I just spoke about, and yep, it's great news as you said, buddy. Domestic Butler, talk to you soon, Carl. Have a nice weekend, my friend. Handy Bean Andy's in. How are you, sir? Welcome. FIFA spits in Real Madrid's mouth. Mr. Weenus, you're certainly, or Mr. or Mrs. Weenus, you're certainly on form tonight. Do you think Milner will sign a new contract with us given his fitness? I know we're probably going to say this every season, but I think a lot might depend on what happens with Leeds. Will James Milner perhaps see Leeds getting promoted to the Premier League and think that if he's to finish up his career, he'd like to finish it up at Leeds United and go full circle? I don't know. Would I argue if Liverpool gave him a contract extension? No, not at all. Why would I? James Milner is Mr. Professional, as Klopp keeps referring to him. He is a model for any young player out there that's looking to follow in his footsteps. He lives a professional athlete's lifestyle. He doesn't drink, always keeps himself fit. So yeah, if they want to give him a new contract, of course, I'd be fully behind giving Jimmy Milner a new contract. That's the reason being born in 99 was the cut-off point. And Connor, there we go. We can put that one to bed. That's the reason why Trent isn't in it. Sound. No problem with that whatsoever. Ella, how are you? Hey, Craig. Just back from Rovers versus Bow semi-final. It was a terrible game. Embarrassing from fans. Game was close to being suspended. I was watching bits and pieces of it, Ella. I seen Bowes had a player sent off in 77th minute. 80 million plus Maddison, we don't need him. Grujic back next season, said Dean. Yes, we can't forget about Marco Grujic as well. I've often spoke about the fact that I think there's a player in Grujic, and I hope he has a good season at Hertha this year, and I hope he does come back to the club, because to me he looks like he'd be a great understudy for Fabinho. Is Havertz on the list? I don't know, mate, and I can't keep picking up the phone to go back through. Have a Google of it. The list is available there. If you just Google Golden Boy Award 2019, you'll get the full breakdown. There's so many newspaper adverts with the list. I appreciate that, Craig. By the way, I am Mr. Weenus from Clare. Well, there you go. It's good to know you're a mister. I hate getting stuff wrong. If I call somebody a fellow when they're a girl. You think Naby will start tomorrow? Asked Kevin. No, I don't, mate. Not after him playing 60 minutes on Wednesday. I think he might be on the bench, alright, but for him to have played 60 minutes and only have a couple of days rest and then to play again coming back from injury would seem like a no-no from a medical perspective. But again, I guess we'll have to wait and see. My team prediction for tomorrow, I did go through it. I don't know if I still have it here. Let me check. If I still have it here, I'll bring it up on the screen. And just to reiterate it, let me check. Do I still have it? Yes, I think I still have it. Right, here we go. Yeah, there we go. There's my predicted 11 for tomorrow and the score prediction. So I've gone for a 3-0 win for the Reds. The 11 that I think Jurgen Klopp will start with: Adrian, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, Fabinho, Hendo, Gini, Mane, Salah, and Bobby. That's my 11. Now, if Mane's struggling with a knock, I don't know who'll go in there. Maybe Origi if he's fit and available. If not, maybe Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will get the nod again. What are your thoughts? What are your 11s? I'd love to know what you guys are thinking around the game tomorrow. Again, early kick-off. Just to remind everybody, it's a 12:30 kick-off. We will be covering it from 12 p.m. on the channel here. As always, we won't be showing any match footage. It'll just be interactive live chat, alternative commentary, and the usual fun and games. What's all the fuss about Maddison? Asked Handy being Andy. He's a very good player. I think that's what the fuss is, mate. And he keeps progressing, and he is that link between midfield and attack that a lot of it's a difficult position to find players in. I mean, at Manchester City, you see Bernardo Silva, David Silva. David Silva being one of the best I've ever seen at being able to play that position. I suppose what would be classed as old school as a 10. But these days, it's somebody who could just drop between the lines, link up the play between midfield and attack, and find those spaces to slip little balls in behind to the front three. I think that's what the fuss is about. There's also some, I suppose, the bias, the fact that he's British or that he's English, that will help. It'll help with what are these phrases called again that we have to use? You have to have a certain amount of players from England. You have to have a certain amount of homegrown players. It'll help with the statistical side of things as well. But is there a better value out there than James Maddison for 80 million? Probably. But you have to take into account the Premier League proven point as well. But I do get both sides of the fence on this. I like James Maddison as a footballer, and I think he will go on to be an excellent player. But would I like to see Liverpool go and pay 85 million for him? It's a lot of money, to be fair. It's a lot of money. Kate said Milner was the best free signing, but Matip is a close second. What's the night deal? Can't go through it again, buddy. Gone through it a couple of times. 30 million plus perhaps 20% of shirt sales. That's roughly what the night deal situation is. LFC will be part of Serena Williams now, said Casper. People are saying they're going to be a build at Anfield to bring in seats. Do you mean talking about the Annie Road end, Finn? Because the last I'd seen the situation with the Anfield Road end was that I think now the old planning permission has expired, and if it hasn't expired, it will expire in a couple of days. And Liverpool are looking at ways that they can resubmit new planning permission to extend the Anfield Road end by the bigger than the 4,000 seats I think they were originally looking for, because they know we need more bums on seats, so we need more seats available for fans. And to be fair to the club, I think they're looking at ways that they can try and increase the capacity and get planning permission as well, and of course take into account the local residents and take into account all the other conditions that will be attached to planning permission. What else we got? Can't understand why Ribena don't advertise as the drink of champions, like Crosby Red. I think we will play as we did last season against Bournemouth. 4-4-2, Salah and Bobby up top. Salah, Keita on the left. Oxlade, Chamberlain, Milner on the right. We did it and we won 4-0 away when Mane was injured, said Jack. Maxi Gomez was such a letdown, said I'm Juicy Weenus. I thought the Nike deal was supposed to be a record-breaking 75 million. It will probably end up more than that, Jack. If you're talking about a guaranteed 30 million and then Liverpool getting perhaps 20% of shirt sales or any merchandise sales with Nike and Liverpool on them, that will add up to a lot of money, mate, and it will probably well surpass that 75 million would be my guess, and it seems to be what a lot of people believe as well, and no doubt the club will of course crunch the numbers on it, mate. So whilst on paper it might look like a record breaking deal, I think when the figures are actually released at the end of each year, you will see that Liverpool will have made probably in excess of that 70-75 million. Would you swap our squad with Manchester City's? No, mate. And look, it's a difficult question to answer because Manchester City's squad is phenomenal. It's full of outstanding footballers, but I like the character of our players and I like the way that they've progressed, and I think they fit our club, if that makes sense. Is the Nike deal confirmed as New Balance were in court over this? It seems to be that almost everything is agreed, Cliff, if you're to go by the papers that were in the High Court or the information that was released in the High Court. There is a matching clause in New Balance's contract that I believe very simply put is supposed to mean that if they match the offer of any competitor that they get the deal. I think the complexities of the deal with Nike would give Liverpool wiggle room perhaps to say, well look, if we're going to get 20% of every shirt sale, there's been instances where, and this is just my opinion, there's been instances where you guys haven't been able to deliver enough shirts and we've been unable to stock them. Goalkeeper shirt, prime example. And that would cost Liverpool money. So maybe Liverpool are thinking, well, Nike will be able to keep up with that manufacturing and Nike will be able to push the brand out there and we'll make more money from it. It's all very complicated, I suppose. But in layman's terms, Liverpool Football Club will do what's best for Liverpool Football Club, and whatever is best for the club, I suppose, is best all round. Casper said, would rather have kept New Balance than Nike. I'm the same. I like New Balance. As I said, I've been a big fan of everything that they've done for the club. I've been a big fan of the trainers that they've made, the shirts that they've done, the blackout kits, the training gear. But it's a business at the end of the day. Are we confirmed with Nike now? Once the stuff in the court is settled, I would say it looks like it's very, 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 very likely that we will be wearing Nike kits from next season. You'll Never Walk Alone 96 said Michael Edwards, trust him to make the right deal. Look, the people at Liverpool Football Club have at the club right now from that side of things are fucking second to none. They are absolutely fantastic. The people that they have working on all these deals have brought the club on leaps and bounds. So yes, we do have good people working there and do trust them to make the right deal, as you've said. As he said, I'd never swap Klopp. The squad look at what Klopp has done at the FIFA Awards. Klopp's amazing. As I've said this time and time again, if you were to go into a factory and try and build a manager to suit Liverpool Football Club, you would probably come out with something looking very much like Jurgen Norbert Klopp. Handy B Nandy said, one goal don't make you an £80 million player, Craig. He's not twice as good as Naby yet. Yes, I agree. He is young. He is still developing, mate. You do have that like English tax, as I like to call it, for him being an English player. He is Premier League as well. You do have to pay more generally when you move from one Premier League club to another. But you're right, it comes down to value in the market, and there probably would be better value out there for 80 million. I mean, I would rather Kai Havertz, as an example. Jack's Page said, LeBron, Drake and Serena Williams, I've never known better times, and I've never known a better phrase to use than we're fucking massive, which is spot on, mate. We are fucking massive, and we're getting fucking massiver, if that's even a word, which it isn't, but we'll start using we're fucking massiver at the end of the season. As in we, I mean Anfield agenda. Liverpool soon to be partnered with Nike. Mbappe partners with Nike. You know what that means. Hashtag Mbappe 2020, said Conor Murray. Robbo said he wants to play out his career at Liverpool. He said his family were settled and loved going to work every day. There's so much I love about Andy Robertson, and every time I hear stuff like this come out of his mouth, or little phrases that he said, makes me love him even more. Arda said, we are back on our perch, and how great is that? How great is it to be sitting here now and we're talking about massive kit deals with Nike, LeBron James, Drake, Serena Williams, all that, maybe being ambassadors or pushing the Liverpool brand out there around the world, being champions of Europe for the 6th time, playing in the Club World Cup in December, winning the Super Cup back at the start of the season, being 6 out of 6 in the Premier League, maximum 18 points, being on 15 wins in a row in the Premier League, being unbeaten at home in 2.5 years. You are damn right we're back on our perch, mate, and it is fucking beautiful to see. Ella said, Craig, will you watch Ireland versus Japan? I'll probably record it and watch it after the Liverpool game, Ella, because there's no way I'm getting up that early, to be honest with you. I actually looked at the way Mourinho looked at the FIFA awards, seeing the little bit in awe of Klopp, said Azzy. FIFA have come out, by the way, and said that there was no skullduggery, is the phrase I'm going to choose to use, around the voting for the FIFA Best Award, and that Messi won it rightly so. And they went on in more detail to talk about how some votes were spoiled and yada yada yada. We spoke about it on last night's stream. There was some accusations made by some coaches and players or national team captains around the world, saying that the votes that FIFA put out there that were attributed to them for Lionel Messi, that they didn't actually vote for Lionel Messi. And FIFA, of course, would never come out and admit to anything like that, so they have come out today and denied all those things. Let me just check through my notes, see if there's anything else. Oh yes, so we all know Thomas Cook have gone bang, and that Liverpool Football Club had a partnership with Thomas Cook. I think they were the club's official travel partner or something like that. So Liverpool Football Club have released a statement regarding Thomas Cook Sport, or an update regarding Thomas Cook Sport. They say, we would like to thank all supporters who have contacted the club regarding tickets purchased via Thomas Cook. As a club, we want to help minimise the impact on supporters where possible, and can confirm that we intend to honour all tickets only, purchased through Thomas Cook for next week's games against FC Salzburg and Leicester City. Supporters will be contacted on Monday by our fan service team via email with details of how to secure tickets. Please be advised that we are unable to fulfill any travel arrangements as part of these packages. Following the insolvency of the travel firm on Monday, the club is still working with Thomas Cook and its liquidators to agree final steps. The club will issue a further update next week regarding future games. We would like to thank supporters for their patience and understanding during this time. It's not a great situation for anybody. I mean, the club are obviously trying to do what they can here to help out. They said that they will honour the tickets for the Salzburg game and the Leicester City game, but they can't honour any travel purchase through Thomas Cook or any hotel arrangements or anything like that. It's a difficult situation, and I suppose, look, the club are trying to do what they can. From my point of view, I've got to be honest about it, I've never liked any of these official travel partner bullshit fucking links to any club, because it's basically glorified touting, and I don't care if the club don't like what I'm saying here. It is glorified fucking touting. It's basically, you pay us money, then we will allow you to sell packages at an astronomical markup and just fuck over fans around the world. And I don't care if the club don't like me saying this. That's my opinion on it. And I know that that's the opinion of many, many, many fans around the world. Some people, it's the only way that they can get to games. And I've been in the situation where I've had to purchase packages, not through Thomas Cook, but through travel agents here in Ireland to get to travel over to watch games. And when I've done so, I have paid an astronomical markup, sometimes 300-400% more than the actual cost of that trip. It's disgusting. I don't like it. I know a lot of Liverpool fans don't like it. I feel genuinely sorry, of course, for anybody who has booked packages through Thomas Cook, and for their staff first and foremost. All those people that would have lost their jobs. Sincerely, this has got nothing to do with them. I really, really, really feel for them and their families. It's a tragedy to see that many people made unemployed. But if we're looking at this just from a Liverpool perspective, I never liked it. I never liked it one fucking bit. That it was basically glorified touting. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, you pay us money and then we will allow you to basically fucking fleece our fans around the world. And not only that, you had to have a club membership, I believe, to buy tickets through Thomas Cook Travel as well to go to Liverpool games. It never sat well with me. I know it didn't sit well with other fans around the world, But one of the beauties of me being able to do this is that I can speak my mind, and my mind on this just tells me that I fucking hated it. I never liked it. Yeah, it's... I don't know how you can justify it. I don't know how you can justify when you see hotel and match tickets going for 3, 4, 500% more than the face value of them. And it's okay because it's the club's official travel partner. And it wasn't just Liverpool that were working with Thomas Cook. I think Manchester United were, and a few other clubs. Maybe Wolves, if my memory serves me correct. Sancho can play anywhere, left, right, central or midfield. Must be up top and wants Klopp rates him highly, said Craig Adams. Great word, skullduggery, said Stephen Booker. Thank you, mate. It was the first word that came to mind when I was trying to think of it. Big news, Trent and Brewster are making a FIFA video today and mentioned Mbappe whilst not playing with him. Trent was randomly doing his celebration and then weirdly stopped himself. Hashtag Mbappe 2020, said Jack's Page. Raul said, so basically we're going to have red versions of the France and Manchester City kits. I don't know. I doubt it. I think they will put effort into the kits. They won't pay this much money and push the club that far around the world. And the club aren't naive either. The club will want, I'm sure, Liverpool kits to stand out. And it's in everybody's interest if they do. What else we got? Talk about early. Most Liverpool Premier League games for me in the US, including tomorrow, are 4:30 a.m. That is really, really early. Or is it late, Danny? Which way are you going to do it, mate? Are you going to stay up late and watch it, or are you going to go to bed and get up and watch it? Aren't Manchester City Puma? Yes, they are from this season. Looks, you were spot on. They were Nike last season. This season, the Manchester City are wearing Puma. I think they signed a 10-year, 60 or 65 million pound a year deal with Puma, but not just for Manchester City, to sponsor the whole brand of City clubs around the world. Handy Bean Andy said, I don't like the 400 quid jump in flight prices the minute the ref blew the whistle after Barcelona. That's gone quiet, by the way, said Handy Bean Andy. Chat's gone slow tonight, said Jack. Could be just a slow stream, mate. Might be many people watching. I haven't even checked the numbers. Boya, how are you, mate? Boya, while I have you on, mate, are you okay to come on maybe next Thursday or Friday and we do a bit of a preview ahead of the Leicester game? Must be so hard for Klopp to pick a team. I find it hard enough on FIFA because there's so much class to choose from. Just under 300 watching, said Connor. So look, it is a quiet stream, which is great. I like these quiet streams at times because it lets everybody get their questions in and allows me answer as many as I can. What's people's thoughts on the whole Thomas Cook thing, by the way? I haven't seen many people commenting on that. Do you agree with what I said about them basically being glorified touts and it being wrong, or do you think that it's okay? And do you think that the club are just trying to make sure... Well, look, the club are clearly trying to make sure that everything was done in a way where they knew who was travelling and everything was above board. It just never sat well with me that there was that much of a markup. And it isn't just Thomas Cook. I don't mean to single out Thomas Cook here. The only reason I really mentioned Thomas Cook is because they were one of the club's official travel partners. But there are travel agents all over the fucking world ripping fans off week in and week out with the overinflated ticket prices. I mean, from Ireland here, I've seen... Liverpool games, and I'm not talking about United here or Manchester City or Arsenal. I'm talking about Liverpool Bournemouth as an example, and a hotel and match ticket, no travel, hotel and match ticket, 400 quid. Now I know for a fact you'll get the hotel room if you're sharing with somebody for about 50-60 quid each, and then the match ticket another say 65-70 euro, and they're charging 400 quid. Yes, companies have to make a profit, but it's just fleecing fans. Shane said club gets massive and becomes a cash cow. It's modern football, unfortunately. All the travel agencies gauge or gauge said looks. Yes, agree. If Mbappe signs, it won't be a pool of moistness, it'll be an absolute torrent of wetness, said Stephen Booker. A lot of dirty talk tonight, ladies and gents. Total madness for everybody regarding Thomas Cook, said Dean. Holiday makers, flight staff, what happened to make such a monumental fuck up? 1.6 or 1.7 billion in debt, I believe, Dean, when the company folded. And look, as I said, first and foremost, your thoughts are with all those people who are stuck abroad and you hope that they're repatriated back to their country safely. Your thoughts are with the people who lost their jobs. Of course, 100% agree with that. I'm purely trying to look at this just from Liverpool's perspective, and the reason I mention it is because, as I said, the club did put out that statement assuring people that had bought tickets to the Salzburg and Leicester City games that the match ticket part of those packages will be honoured by Liverpool Football Club, and the club have to be commended for that. Raul said legal scalping, which is a markup based on what the club probably charged Thomas Cook for those tickets. What about FSG trying to trademark Liverpool? We spoke about that in last night's stream, mate. That was rejected, and I'm glad to hear it was rejected because it's too broad of a term to try and trademark. And look, the club said that they were doing it to stop large-scale manufacturing of fake kits, and I understand that from their point of view. I do get it. I mean, I'm sure it is a massive problem for them. And nobody wants to see the club losing money because of stuff like that. But at the same time, people have made the point that it affected too wide, like Liverpool in any football context. It's just too wide of a thing to try and trademark. So yeah, I'm happy that the club had that turned down. But I do understand the club's point about trying to stop the manufacturing and the distribution of all these fake kits. But I'm happy for the likes of Terra Soldier. I'm happy for the likes of Blood Husky, Love Follow Conquer, Hat Scarf and a Badge, and all these other fantastic manufacturers of Liverpool niche products that are pretty fucking good. And I'm glad that they now don't have to worry about, even though they had received promises by the club that they wouldn't be coming looking for those. I'm happy to see that it was. I'm happy to see it was refused. I think the majority of Liverpool fans agreed that it shouldn't have been trademarked or shouldn't have been able to be trademarked. And thankfully, the Intellectual Property Office in the UK seemed to agree. Sarabia said in Germany, football tickets are way cheaper than England. I remember reading an interview with Bayern Munich a few years ago where they're like, yeah, we could charge more for season tickets, but why would we? We make enough money as it is. And I just remember going, fucking hell. That's kind of weird and nice to hear. Crosby said, used Thomas Cook when I lived in Ireland. Hotel plus ticket averaged over £200, and that was 5 years ago. Can't imagine how they've gone bust with the money they made off fans. Boya said, saw an interesting article in Leicester Mercury that Harry Wilson could be used as a bargaining chip for Maddison. That is interesting from both of our clubs' perspectives, Boya. Defo something, if you're up for coming on next week, mate, something we can have a chat about before the game. You might have already answered me on that one, Anthony. I didn't see a reply, but I would love to get you on, mate, for a chat before the game. Shane Humphrey said, was the Salzburg coach right about his comments on Millie and Hendo being average before Klopp? James Milner, I don't think he could ever really call average a player that's won what he's won in his career. I think at some points James Milner was guilty of being too what's the phrase I'm looking for? Versatile, in that he could play in so many positions that he never really got the opportunity to nail down that one spot. Have they improved under Jurgen Klopp? Yes, because Jurgen Klopp's a tremendous coach, and working with the likes of Pep Linders and the other coaches at Liverpool, yeah, I think that they've moved on. So yeah, maybe the Salzburg coach has some truth to what he said, but I think both were above average, but they've definitely improved under Klopp. Why is Drake hooked up with Nike in the first place? Obviously, both parties find it beneficial, and Drake has a fucking massive profile around the world as well. So if Nike think that hooking up with Drizzy's gonna make them a few extra quid, then why not? I'm Juicy Weenus, so I only started watching you 3 weeks ago, but you're my favourite streamer. Thank you. The second part of it's a bit iffy, but thank you for the first part of it. I'm glad you enjoy the streams, mate. Craig, thanks for your enthusiasm towards Liverpool. Always a good watch. Keep it up, love from Malta. Thank you so much. It's been a really shitty couple of weeks for me, ladies and gentlemen, on a personal level, with the amount of fucking attacks that have been coming my way. But the support that you guys have always shown us on here has been amazing from day one, and for that, thank you so much. As I said, myself and Connor are never going to be able to thank you guys enough, but what we've tried to do to say thank you, and I suppose and to keep the channel as fan friendly as possible, is we have removed all super chats, we've removed all the ads, we've demonetized the channel, and the only thing that we are doing this season, as I spoke about earlier on, is we are working with Football Index. And if you want to support the channel and you are thinking of signing up for Football Index and giving it a go, as it says there in the ad, what's your football knowledge worth? So if you do want to help out the channel, you can sign up to Football Index using the link in the description below. And if you sign up and deposit £20 to your account or €20 to your account, Football Index will match that and give you a free £20 or €20 to use on their app and on their site. So it is a gambling product, as I've said. This offer is only available to people in the UK and the Republic of Ireland. And if you have problems with gambling, gambleaware.org is there for people to have a look at. But as I said, it's the only thing we're doing this season in any way monetary related. So if you want to help us out and you're thinking about signing up, please do use the link in the description below or use AA20 as the code on sign up to get that offer. What else have we got? Maddison plus 20 million equals Wilson, said Dean. Will Liverpool ever leave Anfield and move to a bigger stadium? What do you think? No, Finn. Not after the redevelopment of the main stand, mate. When the club and FSG took the decision to look at all the options and they decided to stay at Anfield and build that magnificent new main stand, I think that was Liverpool's future mapped out, and I think it was the right call. We'd all love to see more seats and we'd all love to be able to get to Anfield. But there's something about that. There's a soul to that stadium, and especially on European nights, it just can't be put into words, really. So I'm glad that the club stayed at Anfield, and I don't think we will ever move from there. Well, I can never say never, but in my lifetime, I can't see Liverpool moving from Anfield. Thomas Cook type deals just inflate hotel prices, said Crosby Red. I was only taking the piss, Craig, but I have so much fun during the streams. Thank you, mate. And it's great having you on. I have loads of fun as well, interacting with people on here. Strange question. Have you ever thought about getting with the Red Men TV, guys? Getting. Sorry, when you say getting, I immediately think of things in a sexual term. I don't know the guys at Red Men TV, mate. I don't know Paul and Chris, but what I do know is that they make great content and they've been doing so for years. The door is always open here. If they want us to do a little bit with them in the future, happy to work with anybody. Well, almost anybody. But certainly the likes of the Anfield Rap, Redmen TV, all those guys that make fantastic content. We just never cross paths, really. So, you never know what might happen in the future. Also, I'd love to get on the kickoff as well. And True Geordie, that's definitely something on my bucket list that I'd love to do. I don't even know if Brian knows about the channel, but hopefully someday we get the invite from True Geordie to go on to kickoff, because that would be fun. That would be really, really fun. Craig, what about the Drake curse? There is that. There, or is it Dicky Bob 123? Yeah, there is that Drake curse. But we could be the ones that break the curse. Do you know what I mean? We could be the ones that break the curse. Didn't FSG go to Boston and break the curse of the Bambino? So always love listening to the stream. Always here just listening, said Crompig Dudley. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much. I'm blown away by the support that we have on the channel and by how far around the world people watch. I mean, people have said Malta, people have said Luxembourg, people have said Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Canada, America. It's crazy, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. Who is the goal to attack our favourite streamer guy? There's people that don't like me, Malcolm, mate, and people are free to. I know I'm a Marmite type of individual, but there's a difference between some people that don't like it and think you're a dickhead, and there's a difference between that and the lengths that some of these fuckers will go to try and bring you down and to try and put out false stuff about you all over social media. And look, to me, it's like water off a duck's back. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me except for my wife and my kids and my family and my friends. After that, people are free to say or make up or do whatever the hell they want. But my wife was a little bit upset, and because of that asked me to stop using Twitter, and I said okay, because I want to make my wife happy. And Twitter made me angry at times as well, so probably best that I knock it on the head. What's your honest thoughts on Naby Keita, Craig? Pep Linders is raving about him. Hype or the real deal? 100% real deal for me, Shane. 100% real deal. I can't sit here in all honesty and say that he's been a success so far at Liverpool, because I think injuries has stopped him being able to get into a real match rhythm and progress and allow us to see what Naby Keita is capable of. But I think by the time his time at Liverpool comes to an end many years from now, I think we'll look back and at his time and see how good he was. I think he will leave the club a success whenever that day comes. So for me, definitely the real deal. Dave Sweeney said, jealous from the gobsheen, support the brilliant bald, beautiful bastards. # balls out. Thank you. Why did we stop using the crest on our shirts? Wouldn't that be harder to copy and easier to copyright? Yeah, I like the Liverbird though, Crosby Red. I have to say, I do like the Liverbird just being on the shirts. I think it looks smart. But we also do have a beautiful crest, so I get both sides of that. Jojo Harper said, hey Craig, regarding super chats, please consider this. Many of us AA followers will enjoy it more if we can show our appreciation via having the option of super chats. Just a thought. I'm not saying it's not something we won't reconsider down the line, Jojo, but when we started up the channel, we had costs associated with starting it up. Laptops, fucking microphones, all that type of stuff. And we've now covered all of those costs, and we feel like we can keep things ticking along without ads and super chats for the time being, because this has never been a money making exercise for us, because as I've always said, and I'm going to continue to say, neither Connor nor myself have ever taken 1 cent or 1 penny of a wage from Anfield Agenda. It's not something that was ever a plan. The little bit of money that had come in, and it is a small amount, we had used for travel to Liverpool when we went over a couple of times. We've used to buy equipment, but we've never ever taken a cent from it, because we didn't start it up to make money. We started it up to meet Liverpool fans, to give Liverpool fans a community and Liverpool fans a place to come on here and talk about the club that we all love. But most importantly to all of us in this was to have the freedom to be able to say whatever the fuck we want without having to be withholding to anybody. And that's so important to us, because I believe real fan content should have that freedom. And this is why there's so many great fan channels on YouTube and stuff, because we have the freedom to say things on here that perhaps you wouldn't have the freedom to say on television or on radio. And that's the beauty of this for me. I fucking love it. I love being able to come on here and say stuff that maybe the club wouldn't agree with what I'm saying at times, but that's okay. My job is not to have the club like me. That is not my aim in this. I've said since day one, I've no interest in ever having interviews or doing anything with the club. I love the club. I love the club immensely. But I'm going to speak my fucking mind. And if my mind or my thoughts are to say something anti the club in some way, I'll say it. Doesn't mean I don't love the club, but the club aren't infallible. The club aren't always right. The club don't always make the right decisions. And the growth of fan channels like the United Stand, even Arsenal or AFTV, who I do not like, but even the you can't deny their growth, and you can't deny that people like people being able to say what's on their minds. And I love that. Sorry I'm late, can you do a recap if you don't mind? Basically, really quickly, Nathan, Nike deal, Nike deal supposed to be 30 million plus a percentage of shirt sales for Liverpool. Looks like it could happen if the stuff in the High Court can be eased over. There's 6 Premier League players in the last 40 for the FIFA Golden Boy Award. Is it a FIFA award? I'm not sure. For the Golden Boy Award. What else have we gone through? We talked about Thomas Cook and the fact that Liverpool are going to honour any tickets purchased for Salzburg and Leicester City. Match tickets only for that Thomas Cook stuff. What else we talked about? We talked about the fitness of players and that Alisson is going to be back to full training with the team on Sunday. He won't be available for tomorrow. Sadio Mane and Divock Origi have taken part in full training, and Klopp has said that James Milner is Mr. Professional basically, and said that he won't be talking about any potential extension of James Milner's contract, because that's not the type of stuff that he talks about in press conferences. I think that's pretty much everything that we've done tonight. Well, the main subjects anyway. Craig, did you get your new table before demonetizing? No, I didn't, John. I'm still using the same table. It's a little roundy kind of bistro table that my son uses downstairs for eating his homework on and doing his dinner on, and then I bring it upstairs every night for the stream. So no, I didn't get my new table, mate. I also want to say that in October we're going to be dedicating the entirety of October to Serendipity Furniture, and it's not because of any monetary factors or anything. We just want to help Serendipity Furniture out. We want to let the world know, and as many people know as possible, about the amazing stuff that those guys make. This throne that I'm sitting on, this beautiful big red and white leather chair, came from Serendipity Furniture, and I got to know Paul and Beth whilst this chair was being manufactured, and a nicer couple, a nicer family business you could not meet. So I spoke to Connor about it, and we decided, is there anything that we can do to help? or anything that we can do to let the world know. And we decided, let's dedicate October to Serendipity Furniture. So in the month of October, you're going to see us promoting Serendipity Furniture chairs, going to show you guys the different types of products that they make. We're going to tell you guys about massive discounts that they're willing to give to our subscribers. But I just want to be very clear about this. It's not because we're being paid for it, or it's not because of any other fact other than we genuinely like Serendipity and Paul and Beth as people. They are fucking wonderful individuals who have the same ethics around things as we do, and the same outlook on life and business as we do. So October is going to be Serendipity Furniture Month, and we hope you guys will check out their sites, check out their products. They're so available. If you ever want to have a chat with Paul, he will talk you through the process. They've given us a massive discount for our subscribers, by the way, which of course we'll talk about in more detail throughout October. But basically, if you want to buy a chair like the one I'm sitting on, they'll give you a £100 discount. If you want to buy a 2-seater chair, they will give you a £200 discount. And if you want a 3-seater sofa, they will give you a 300% discount. Or £300, Jesus, not 300%, £300 discount. But we'll give you all those details throughout the month of October. But it's just our way of saying a massive thank you to the wonderful folks at Serendipity for sending us this beautiful, 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 and can I say beautiful again, chair with the Liverpool crest and my name embroidered on it. And just to let you guys know, so they can make anything, any colours that you want, and they can put any embroidering that you want on the chair, whether it's your family crest, your name, whatever the fuck you want. Serendipity can do it for you. All chairs come with a 10-year structural guarantee as well, and a 2-year guarantee on the leather. But look, Paul and Beth can explain this to you better than I ever could. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that, because it's our way of saying thank you to a truly wonderful company, a truly wonderful family business, and just to show them some love, because they've shown us nothing but love. Would I melt if I met Jurgen Klopp? I've been in 2 press conferences where I've been sitting in the front row right in front of Jurgen Klopp, Craig, and found myself speechless, yes. And I'm not a man that struggles for words, but when Kloppo was sitting there, I almost just fell off the chair. If you don't enable Super Chat and save up money for the channel, you won't... what's this, Craig? Why don't you enable Super Chat and save up money for the channel if you don't want to take it yourself? You might need it for something. We may do down the line, mate, but as things stand, we're okay. We can keep the lights on, so to speak. We've covered our costs up to now, and we might do it down the line, but we don't need it at the minute. And if we don't need it, there's no point in doing it, because we don't give a fuck about money, basically. Which is why we don't push merchandise. We don't do any of that type of stuff either. We just want this to be a community for people to have fun and talk about football. We all have serious parts of our lives, and we all have times in our life where times are shit and we're stressed, and we just want this to be a place for people to have fun. Do you think Firmino will play Liverpool for the rest of his career? Ooh, interesting question, Space Frog. No, I don't. But that might be Firmino at 33, moving back somewhere to play. I don't think he's gone anywhere anytime soon, put it that way. But to say any player will play for their entirety of the rest of their career at a club is, in this day and age, is tough to say yes to. Dean said, Klopp is my role model. He is infectiously lovable, passionate, intelligent, man management, should be studied by business management university students, current and future managers in companies. I absolutely agree with you, Dean. And I think Peter Moore and FSG have said similar, in that the man is just amazing and lovable and intelligent and articulate, and can give people enthusiasm that they didn't know that they had. So yeah, I absolutely agree with everything that you're saying. A cracking jumper again, Craig said. Soldier. This one, Portland Timbers. As you know, we're over in Florida, and I like to buy as many football shirts from them anywhere as I can, because I'm an absolute chav, and I bought a couple when I was over there. I bought the Brazil shirt as well, but I can't wear that on stream because the green in that particular shirt against my green screen goes invisible. So Kev said, yep, truly wonderful company, and it was thanks to Kev. Kev is the one who got us in touch with Serendipity Furniture, when he was taking care of our Instagram account, and for that as well, I owe Kev a massive thank you, because just getting to know Paul and Beth Kev has been a pleasure for me. Anything else aside, just getting to know them as people has been an absolute pleasure. Sterling to Madrid, said Jack's page. It's been rumoured, it's been muted, it's been in the media, mate. I think £180 million was the figure that I'd seen for Raheem Sterling. I don't know, what do you think? Would he ever make that move? I mean, I think he'd be a success wherever he went, because Raheem Sterling is a very good footballer, and if he went to Madrid, it would be a loss for the Premier League. But you have seen instances in the last few years of younger English players looking to perhaps play abroad, so maybe, you never know, you can't rule it out. Doug's just popping in to say hello, really busy day, going to sleep, missing the game, working until 2 p.m. tomorrow. I hate those situations, mate, where you have it recorded and you don't want anybody to ruin it for you, so you're staying off all forms of Twitter and Facebook and everything just so you don't see the score. Had a moment with Ranieri. Normally I won't stop talking, but when I met him I was completely starstruck, said Boya. Watching Klopp and Linders going back to the stuff of the Champions League earlier and can't see Klopp leaving us. He was genuinely so emotional. He bleeds LFC, said Craig Adams. I love Klopp, mate, and I hope he stays here for many, 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 many years to come. I honestly do. I've said this on about 10 streams, but I still pinch myself that he's Liverpool's manager. Sterling would leave. Sure, Real Madrid, big step up for Manchester City, said Dean. Sterling has no loyalty. He'll go where the cash is, said Malcolm Fielding. I don't know Raheem Sterling. It's not fair of me to say whether... I can't speak about the integrity of the man. It's not my place to say. He has progressed under Pep Guardiola's tutelage. Perhaps if Pep Guardiola left Manchester City, maybe Raheem Sterling would reassess his options. I don't know. But I do think he will move on in his career. I don't think he'll finish up his career at Real Madrid. I was just saying similarly a few minutes ago about other players. FSG must be the most intelligent owners in sports, said Neil Anthony. They certainly know how to run a sports club, mate. I'll say that for them. Had your push bike robbed today by a possible smackhead. So sorry to hear that, Shankly Spirit, mate. I mean, for anyone to steal anything is scumbaggery of the highest order, mate, regardless of whether it was a smackhead or not. I'm sorry to hear about your bike, and I hope you get it returned. If the money's there, Sterling has already proved he'll go wherever, said John Cable. Jersey Boy said, hey Craig, how are you? I am good, thank you, mate. Here's a question for you. How many points do you think will be ahead or behind of Manchester City when we play them in November? God, I wouldn't mind keeping that 5-point buffer that we have now. I mean, that would be nice. It is a difficult one though, mate, because we have a harder run of games than Manchester City. As long as we have an advantage, as long as we go into that game knowing that we'll be ahead of them no matter what the result, I'll be happy. But I do want us to beat Manchester City and take points off them this season, because 1 point from possible 6 last year just wasn't good enough in the long term. I definitely see Raheem Sterling following Guardiola to another club, said Brian Morrissey. Yes, I could see that happening, mate. I think that there's a really strong relationship there between the two of them. Guardiola has backed Sterling to the hilt since he came to Manchester City, and has improved them as a player. So yeah, I can definitely agree with you there on that one, Brian. Do you see Bernardo Silva probably going to miss the game against us? No, I didn't. Why is that, Connor? I mean, that's good news if he is going to miss the game against us. But no, I didn't see that. Never seen anybody move like that before, said Cocky Irish guy. I don't know what that's in relation to, mate. Sorry, maybe I've missed something. I heard Sterling wanted out because he didn't like Rodgers, so it wasn't about the money, said Craig Adams. I don't know the reason why Raheem Sterling left, mate. I suppose Raheem Sterling is, and his agent and his family are probably the only ones that know that. We should all pray for the blue shite to do us a favour, said Malcolm Fielding. Yeah, I don't think they will though, mate. I agree with you. It'd be lovely if they did, but I can't see them taking points off City. Marco Silva to be sacked next, said Doug. I think there's pressure coming on him. I think that much is true. I think Connor's just sent me something on WhatsApp. Right, so the Copite, our friends at the Copite have said Manchester City midfielder Bernardo Silva is very likely to miss the game against Liverpool in November. The midfielder is currently under investigation by the FA for the tweet he posted last weekend. He could receive a 6-game ban from the FA and they said that's taken from the Times and the Independent. Interesting stuff. If this Nike deal gets us Mbappe, I would cream my pants, said Briefcase Wanker. Some strange sexual connotations being put into the chat tonight, ladies and gents. I hope there's no kids watching this one. Look, I'm going to leave it there for tonight, my friends. I will be here at 12 o'clock tomorrow for the game, half an hour before kick-off. As always, we don't schedule our watch-along, so just keep an eye out for the notification, which is even more reason to make sure you've got those notifications turned on. And also, if you've enjoyed this stream and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please do take a minute to subscribe and give us a thumbs up on the stream as well. That would really, really help us out. I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 for the Sheffield United game. Fingers crossed the Reds can go and make it 7 out of 7 in the Premier League. It's not going to be an easy game, but you know, there's no easy games in the Premier League. Enjoy the rest of your Fridays. I will chat to you wonderful people tomorrow. Take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucking Reds.